Greetings, fellow math lovers. Today we're here to talk about some of the topics you'll be seeing in this week's module. These are the three big ideas I'd like to talk about with you. So with that, let's jump in. If I can figure out how to scroll. Come on, you can do it. All right, well, fine, we'll start here. This is some preliminary stuff we need to talk about. So how are we going to express this number in fraction notation? Well, remember that this is a place value thing. This is 0 groups of 1 plus 1 group of 1/10. Remember, that's the tenths place, plus 4 groups of 1/100th. So this is 0 plus 1/10 plus 4 1/100ths. And since 1/10 is 10 1/100ths, multiply the numerator and denominator by 10, and multiplying by 10 over 10 is 1. This is 14 1/100ths. 1/10 and 4/100ths is 10/100ths, and 4/100ths 14/100ths. Now what about percent notation? So little known fact, I think sometimes percents are taught like this sort of total voodoo mumbo jumbo, and I really don't understand why, because there's a really pretty relationship. Think of your favorite number. Do it right now. Okay. N%, where n is your favorite number. In fact, where n is any number, literally means n divided by 100. This is from an old Latin phrase that meant percentum, or literally per 100. N per 100. So to write 0.14, we have to express that as some number divided by 100. And from what we just saw, 0.14 is literally 14 over 100. So 0.14 equals 14%. So that is a powerful way to think about this as far as I'm concerned. And if that doesn't make sense to you, send me an email and I'll explain it to you a different way. Now, let's talk about this. 74%, as you may recall, means 74 divided by 100. And that's a fraction. If you want simplest form, you can factor this 2 times, 39, I believe? 37. 37 times 2 is 74. And here's a way to see that. 37 equals 2 times 30 plus 7. That's 60 plus 14. 74. Woohoo! 2 times 50 equals 37/50. That's simplest form. That's a fraction. That's a fraction. That's the simplest form of this fraction. So that's how you can express a percent in fraction notation. Notice I'm not saying write 74% as a fraction. Fraction, decimal, and percent are not things. They are ways of representing things, namely numbers. And you'll have to forgive me if I get really animated about this. I wrote my dissertation about this, and I saw a lot of people say a lot of crazy things because they got so obsessed with fractions and decimals and percents being things instead of ways of representing things. So anyways, let's write this in decimal notation. 74% equals, by definition, 74 over 100, which we know means 74 divided by 100. And that means I'm going to take 74. Remember, this is 70 plus 4. So if I divide this by 100, I divide both of these terms by 100, and that's 7/10 plus 4 1/100ths. Recognize that. 0.74. So that's how you write a percent in decimal notation. Now, you don't have to do it this way. You may be totally comfortable with this, and thinking about it this way may mess you up, and that's fine. But if your palms start to sweat and you feel yourself hyperventilating when you think about writing numbers in different notations, this is one way to think about it that I think relies less on memorizing tricks and more about what things mean. And if you can remember what n% means and you can remember place value, then I think you'll be in a better spot to work these things out. So I'm going to end this video here, and then I'll do another one following along on the same slides.